Hi, my name is Salma Gorab, and this is my electronics model project. I made a automated Connect 4 board. In this project, I have a sensor that is color recognition, so it senses the frequency of RGB, which determines what the color is of any object that's placed on top of it. I have 4 servos that actuate the system, so I have 2 servos on the top here. These 2 servos control the top gate to let chips into the board, and I have 2 servos on the bottom, one in the front and one in the back, and these 2 servos control and actuate the slider on the bottom, whether or not the chips stay in the board or fall out of the board. And so to start out, I'm going to run my processing code, and once I run my processing code, what it will tell me is that it's going to clear the board here, and it clears the board of any chips that might have been in the board from the previous game. So it opens the slider, and then the second slider is putting the slider back in the neutral position. And now it shows me my Connect 4 board being clear. And it tells me that it's the player red's turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my red chip here. I'm going to put my red chip on top of this sensor. And so what'll end up happening is that it actuates the servo to open. So I'm going to put my red chip in the first column, and what will end up happening is that my servo waits for a certain amount of time, and then it closes the gate. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this first button, which symbolizes the first column, so that I can show on my processing code that I put my first chip, which is red, in the first column. And so now it tells me it's the yellow player's turn. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my sensor actually works, because my sensor makes sure that I have the right player playing at the right time. So again, I'm going to take my red chip instead of my yellow chip and put it on top of the sensor. What should happen is that the gates shouldn't open. And so I put my red chip on top and nothing ends up happening. And so what I'm going to do now is take my actual yellow chip here, and I'm going to put it on top, and it actually actuates the servos to move. So now I'm going to put my yellow chip on the other corner, so my last column here. I'm going to wait for my servos to close, and then once my servo closes, I'm going to press my last button on this board here, so I can show it on my processing code. Right now, what'll end up happening is my processing tells me that player red won, and the servo opens the slider, so all the chips fall, and then the back servo closes the slider and puts it back in the neutral position so that I can play the next game, to which it shows me on the processing. And that's my project. Thanks for watching.